What's good, everybody? Welcome to the soft launch. This is what I like to call it for a Stoked podcast. I am Javon Stokes. I am creator of Heat, owner, CEO, whatever you want to call it, of Visually Stoked Media. And kind of this is kind of my brainchild, and I'm kind of taking things over. Not so much taking things over, but kind of doing a different slant on a podcast than what I do at from what most of you guys know, Top Five Nation. Uh, with me on this particular show, I've got my cousin Jamari Stokes, a educator and writer. You want to introduce yourself, Jamari, to the people? We can't hear you, sir. This is why we do soft launches, people.
And that's why we're
This is
on
why we
mute.
do them.
I'm Jamari Stokes. I am a school teacher, writer, and I'd like to think of myself as a amateur opinion haver. So I think some of this is even born out of the fact that me and Javon tend to have a lot of these kind of conversations in the first place. And I wanted to see what he's going to say today.
Yeah, I don't appreciate you talking about me like I say controversial things. I think I'm a pretty balanced and neutral guy. So,
I think you say controversial things in a very measured fashion.
okay. Whatever. We've also got the producer, Chad. He is working behind the scenes, but he might not be on all the time, but his opinion is definitely appreciated. Chad, you wanna Chad is a photographer. Chad's everything. Chad does a lot. He's a man of many hats.
Yeah, I just come in and say a quick little thing. Yeah, I'm behind the scenes, photo, video, editing, all that good stuff. I'm your guy, and I'm gone again. I'm here, but I'm not here. Peace out.
All right, Chad. All right. So real quick, for those that don't know me, um, I have been an artist for gosh, I'm 40 right now, so I've been an artist for probably 35 of my years on this earth. For those that don't know, my mother is Evelyn Diane Cook. She was a well-renowned artist around Connecticut and beyond, actually. Author, writer, entrepreneur. She's done it all, and I'm literally following in her footsteps. I've been saying that for years now. Um, I've been doing this for, like I said, about honestly since high school. I was working at my mother's company, Jam Junior Art Makers. I was one of the graphic designers there. And when I ended up going to Savannah College of Art and Design to get a degree in, well, initially it was computer art, but then they kind of spread it out to be like 3D animation. They split it into like 4 or 5 majors. But anyway, I did 3D animation, came back home, and I've been doing, comic books. Danny, appreciate it. I've been doing comic books, I've been doing writing, and I've been doing a bunch of different things. And right now, I am doing Heat. This is my baby, my brainchild. Created Heat in college, in SCAD. It was actually a what do you call it? A school project that just grew and evolved into the comic book that it is now, and I've been selling them for about 5 years now. I am the writer, artist, colorist, letterer, editor, everything for it. And I decided to do a podcast. Number one, because I am on the top five live podcast with Danny J. Quick and Morgan Iverson, and I enjoy the rapport that we have as a group. But I did want to do something a little different, and this podcast will have more me talking with people who are in different um, areas of entertainment, areas of different careers and stuff like that, and just learning about what they do because I might be interested. We have quite a few guests coming up for the next 4 weeks, actually. The next 4 weeks are all solid. Starting out with the real official launch of a Stoked podcast with the acclaimed and incredibly talented Jamal Eagle. He will be next week, next Thursday. After that, we'll have LaQuanda Plant, who is the writer. The writer. I'm gonna call it the writer. I like that word. I'm gonna keep it. A director, a writer, a casting director. She's done it all in entertainment in Hollywood, and she's going to be the guest after Jamal. And then after her, I'm going to bring in my boys because I love them. They're my homies. They're my little brothers. Danny and Morgan will come on to the show, and I promised them I would not be as combative and argumentative as I am in Top 5. So y'all can see if that works. And then rounding out the first 4 weeks will be George Gant, the creator of Beware of the Toddler. If you haven't seen that, that comic strip, please check it out. It's amazing. I'm gonna have more links for it. Once again, this is a soft launch. We're just trying to get into the flow of things. So that being said, Jamari, did you want to give a little something about yourself, or are you good? Or do you want to dive right in?
The most honest thing I can say is I am an amateur creative. I love to write. That is something I'm starting to do. I have been encouraged by people like Javon to share my views and share my opinions. And I guess this is one of those opportunities. He approached me about it, and I said, no better time than now. And I think the thing I'm most excited about is being able to have conversations about different topics and with people that have done interesting things and are able to teach not only myself and Javon, but even the audience at large about something that they may not have known about.
And we're definitely gonna have fun because I don't know how to. I don't want to be boring.
Yeah. And I figure I can also subject you to some things you probably don't care about.
Jamari is the designated hater. All right, he's the official one. So
I wouldn't call myself a hater. Well, no,
that is a lie.
That is not. I literally have a hat that says hater. I literally have a hat that says hater.
You are.
So, however, it's not. It's less about hate. It's more about just there are things, and this is why I love being able to have conversations, because there are things that I would love to big up that maybe you would not have a thought about. And I'd like to hear different perspectives, because you never know what your eyes might get open to.
That's all right. Before we get into the first piece of this podcast, I gotta say, you can find us. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter, and you can find me everywhere. You can find me on my website. All that stuff is going to be going across the bottom. See, Chad's already getting there, man. No. That's all right. But yeah, so once again, that's Facebook. You can find me on Twitter. There you go, at visually _stoked. You can find me on Instagram. And there we go. And then you can definitely go to the website, visuallystoked.com, where you can, once again, you can get all things heat. I'm very proud of this book. Before we get into what I'm stoked about, I'm very proud of this book. I did this book during the pandemic. Well, during the beginning of the pandemic, where there was a lot of civil unrest, and basically, it was the George Floyd stuff. It was everything. I can't even. For me to list every single person that died at the hands of police officers, I really don't want to be here all night, and I really don't want to depress myself or get angry. But I did do it, and during that time, and this was my cathartic way to address those issues. So once again, you can go to visuallystoked.com, where you can get heat, and you can get the previous books all together. There are 3 of them. There is Heat Undeserving, which is a trade paperback of the first 3 books. Heat the Black Flame, which is a graphic novel, and then the first issue of the ongoing series, which is once again Heat. All right, enough of the promotion. Let's get into it. What I am stoked about today actually took place on Monday, which was the debut of the Moon Knight trailer. I like Moon Knight. I always have liked Moon Knight. I've liked Moon Knight so much. As soon as the trailer came out, I went and got me a trade. See, let me get to the camera. I bought this like immediately. I've always liked Moon Knight. He's the crazy Batman, even though Batman technically is crazy. But
There is is it a kind of a different type of crazy, I guess, in this sense?
Well, let me not say crazy, because I feel like I'm insulting people. He's mentally challenged. He has what's the word? He has disassociated disassociated identity syndrome? Is that what it is?
Is that what it is? I just know I was under the impression that literally multiple personalities.
Right, multiple. There's a phrase for it. There's a wording for it. I'm terrible at it. But anyway, I love the trailer. I love the vibe, the atmosphere that they set. I love how they're addressing his multiple personalities, and frankly, I like the look of Moon Knight. Although I do find it funny, and it was brought out on Twitter about how much it looks like a Klan outfit. So, and I knew that was coming. I feel like I knew that it was coming. That he's the Klan. Someone said he's the Klan Batman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I did not see that.
Yeah.
I can't honestly say I did not see that one.
Well, when you have a superhero literally cloaked all in white or silver or whatever you want to call it, and he's a hood. That's kind of hard to avoid.
I recall seeing something about one of the they wanted to connect with the whole Egyptian aspect, so they were trying to make him look like a mummy.
Oh no, they definitely succeeded.
Yeah, and that was the thing that jumped out to me initially. Then everything else, like, oh, we've got the white hood and everything else. I'm going to be honest with you. I initially, first view, I wasn't impressed. Then I had to go do a little background running, and then I was like, oh, and I'm a little more excited because, like, I want to see where this goes. Now, here's what I'm going to ask you, because you have more information than I do. What is his what would be like his big time story to go with? Because I apparently there's some like two really big runs that are supposed to be kind of like the signature runs to go to if you want to know anything good about him.
So, and I'm probably gonna butcher these names, but Doug Monek and Bill Sienkiewicz. They had kind of the quintessential run, and then there was another run. Oh man, I gotta find out the name of this run. I can't. Yes, during the show, I am absolutely going to pull up Wikipedia more. So if you're not used to it, don't worry. I'm quick with it.
It becomes a skill.
Not Bendis. It was.
I thought it was Bendis.
Well, Bendis had a run. Bendis had a pretty substantial run.
That was the one that kept coming up when I was doing research.
Charlie Houston. There it is. Charlie Houston had a run that had like Moon Knight cutting dudes' faces off, and
oh wow,
yeah, like it was brutal, man. He was like he was crippling people, like he was brutal, man. It was tough to read sometimes. I was sitting there like, man, like why is he so violent? But Bendis had a run that dealt more with his multiple personalities. Warren Ellis had a big run. And I'm trying to think. Jeff Lemire had a big run.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them kind of keyed in on his mental problems. So those are his big runs. I wouldn't say that he has like a true like iconic storyline.
Okay.
That you could just go to, but he has a lot of nice runs that you can read and enjoy.
That's what I would want to know. Is like, if I'm going to go and read Moon Knight, I want to know what runs I should go look for. Or
this is actually a good start. This is why I got it. It's called Moon Knight: Shadows of the Moon.
Shadows of the Moon.
It's an epic collection. I love, for the record, off topic, I love these. I have a ton of them. All these epic collections from Marvel that have like 50 issues in them. I love them. Love them. If I showed you guys how many, I'm not into lately. I haven't really been getting into individual copied comic books. I've been getting more into trades. I'm a trade guy now.
Admittedly, I'm probably more so, unless it's something that somebody brings to me. The last thing that somebody brought to me that I was reading got canceled. So
what?
A Miss America.
Yeah. Well, you mean America Chavez?
America Chavez. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think she has a new book out now, if I'm not mistaken. She has a new book out.
The one somebody brought it to me. I had the first 3 issues, but then I think over last summer, I found out it got canceled because it was interesting, but
honestly, it's hard now for Marvel books, a lot of Marvel books, to have long runs. That long runs, if you're not like Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, if you're not any of like their major sellers, you're not gonna have a long run. Like you might have a nice short run. But you're not gonna have a long run. Right now, like it's just a bunch of like reboots. Like, okay, restart with a number one, restart with a number one, restart with a number one. I've never been a big fan of it. I like runs where you'd be like 500 issues, like that. I'm a little old school there. Like I don't like the constant number ones. I don't know. I can't remember.
That's massively confusing, especially to someone like me who loves comics but does not follow hardcore to the level that someone like you will. But
my suggestion is always to find a run that you like, and then get that run, and then find I follow creators now more than characters. Although I have, like, looking at my collection, I got a lot of the Flash.
Really?
Yeah, I have. I'm looking at it right now. I've got the entire Mark Waid run in trade paperback form. I got the majority of the Jeff Johns run in trade paperback form, and I'm just getting the first run. It's all Wally West, though.
Of course,
I like Wally.
Of course, what I know of you, yeah. Now,
well, I mean, he's the only legacy character that I like. Like the only one.
I feel like
I don't like Sam. I'm not a big fan of Sam Wilson as Cap. I'm not a big fan of I'm trying to think
are we going to eventually have that conversation at some point?
Yeah, we're not going to do that now.
We're gonna. I know it's coming.
Nah, yeah. I mean, what can you say? I mean, I'll just give, for people that don't know me, I feel like it's great of an idea as doing like Sam Wilson as Cap, or James Rhodes as Iron Man, or Shuri as Black Panther. I mean, those are, you might get a few good stories out of it, but the fact of the matter is all those characters eventually get pushed to the side. They all get pushed to the side, and they all end up, as secondary characters. Now, I will give credit, and I've had this argument before. Miles Morales, he's sticking around, but I think that has a lot more.
I think there's a small collective of characters, starting with Miles, that are starting to stick, that either inherit a name, or they are, as you said, somebody who was initially pushed because they had a name for a minute and shifted over. But by large, you're correct.
But I don't even have if you're going to be a legacy character, the legacy characters that work, in my opinion, have names of characters that nobody cared about to begin with. Nobody cared about Mr. Terrific until the Black Mr. Terrific came, and that's the first time I've ever called him the Black Mr. Terrific. But nobody cares about the White Mr. Terrific. Miss Marvel only works because Carol Danvers became Captain Marvel. That's the only reason Miss Marvel works, is because Marvel is 100% behind Carol Danvers as Captain Marvel. Like, Marvel is not really coming back to take the name.
They've developed that character
Yeah.
enough, and it's created enough of a following that no one's going to make that shift backwards.
Right. And eventually, no matter, I know Marvel likes to, they tried, Marvel and DC tried the illusion of change. And as much as I like to believe that Sam is going to stay Cap, it's not. He'll eventually go back to being Falcon, and he's fine as Falcon. He works better as Falcon, in my opinion.
You don't think they'll ever shift back? You don't think there's enough room where they can keep him as a Captain America like they're doing right now?
Maybe I'm jaded and I've been reading comics way too long, but I just don't see it. I don't.
Let me bring
anyway.
Getting back to your whole thing with Moon Knight, though, the trailer. If there's one thing I really did enjoy, and this is just one of these things Marvel seems to be really good at lately, is using music to kind of draw you in. And I loved how they used the old Kid Cudi Day and Night into this. And as soon as I was like Day and Night, I was like, oh, this fits perfectly.
I'm old. I didn't know that was Kid Cudi. I was thinking about what it was sampled from.
It's a remix of
what is it?
Day and Night. That's the name of the song. It's a remix of a Kid Cudi song, Day and Night. And
no, but the sample is from something else, though.
That I don't know. That part of it, but I immediately picked up on that, and I saw people online going like, "What was that song they used? Where is it? Who?" And I was just like, "Okay, people not listening to music seriously."
I swear it's sampled from something.
I can go look, and you know what else it reminded me of, though? It reminded me of the trailer for the movie Us.
Yeah,
Jordan
Peele started it. Us really started it, though.
Huh? Us started it. Us started, and people have done different stuff with it. Us was the one that really hit because that was such a shock to hear. I got 5 on it, used in the fashion that it was, and this to me was on that same level where you've got this really, and then it's also another hip hop, fairly significant hip hop song, particularly for a generation, I'd say behind us a little bit.
I love the Candyman Say My Name. I like that. That was hot. That to me was really
creative. That was cool. That was cool.
Super
creative. Did you watch that movie?
I haven't gotten it. I haven't gotten to see it yet.
Did you watch? Yeah, that came out. It did well for a minute because the dude who played Candyman, didn't he get a little bit of jump afterwards?
No, I definitely did well. I just haven't seen it. I'm gonna when I do see it, I'm definitely gonna talk about it on the show. I'm definitely gonna talk about it. We kind of talked about it. Like, I kind of know the entire story already. I just haven't watched it. I have this thing where I go, people, you guys will learn, the 2 or 3 people watching, whatever. But I've got this thing where I will, if I know I'm not going to see a movie for a while and it doesn't bother me, I'll spoil myself and go on Wikipedia and read it.
Certain stuff, I do that.
I do it all the time.
I'm less. Unless it's certain stuff. I don't know how I avoided a lot of stuff for No Way Home, but I did. Some stuff you just couldn't help but know.
Listen, man, my guy, and I don't know if he's watching it, but he might watch it. We go back and forth. My guy, Larry Young, on Facebook, he spoiled something on the No Way Home for me. I was angry at him for a little bit, for like 2 days. I blame
you, Larry.
What did I do?
Well, it's not a negative. You are kind of the reason now that when a trailer comes out for something, I'm like, okay, I watched the first trailer and I don't want to know anymore. I might go past that teaser trailer, and after the first official, after the do a teaser, I'm like Moon Knight. I don't want to know anymore. Just let it come out. Just let it come out. I'm interested. I know a lot now. This one did get mixed reactions.
I think it did, but I think a lot of people, there are a lot of people who complain about trailers showing everything and then get mad when trailers don't show a lot. So there's no like, look at Chad. Look at Chad. Look at Chad. Chad's actually working. He's not sleeping. He's not sleeping, guys. Yes, Moon Knight. There we go. Chad's working. The irony is I'm actually about to shift the conversation in like 2 seconds.
Hey, well, it's a good thing to shift because I think this is a good thing to talk about because this is a property that it does not have the name brand recognition of some of the stuff that's come previously in that Marvel Cinematic Universe stuff. And the one that everyone will always point to will always be Guardians of the Galaxy because nobody knew shit about that. And they were able to make that and make those characters into household names. And the thing we're going to talk about later.
Actually, let's talk about it now. Let's do it. I've been holding in a little bit. Now, I don't do it often. But when it comes to this movie, a lot of people have been posting about the Eternals. Now, it has been a very polarizing movie, super polarizing. I've seen people go from I hate it to I loved it. I personally liked it. It wasn't like amazing. It wasn't the greatest thing ever, but I thought it was entertaining. And I know I say a lot, I've been told. So if you guys are doing a drinking game, you probably should stop.
I've been doing it this whole time.
You should probably stop because you will be sauced. Put away your keys. But the Eternals, there's one thing I'm going to start off with. It's a complaint. And then we'll go. I get really annoyed when they do superhero movies, right? And the superhero movies talk about through history and everything like that. And certain folks, more predominantly of color, and here's where the controversial comes in. Y'all got to stop saying, oh, they ain't do nothing about slavery. Please stop. Please stop. It's not a historical movie. Now, they take part in different pieces of history, but y'all got to stop.
Also, if you watch the movie, it kind of explains why those sort of things don't happen. But
see, those people aren't paying attention. The whole point of the movie is that the people at a certain point stopped messing with humanity. And they kept running into reasons why they should stop messing with humanity.
Before we continue on, before we go on, here's something we might want to bring up. Are we going to get into this like full-blown spoiler territory?
I mean, it's on Disney Plus now.
Even so, I just want
to whatever, dude.
Just give the warning.
It's free now. It's free. It's free. Like listen, it's not.
And that's really why we're talking about this in the first place.
Right. So I have a problem with that. I know there are a lot of people who, and I got into a huge conversation with this, and Morgan, if you're watching, Morgan's well aware of this, where a guy was complaining about the gay superhero Phastos being responsible for the nuclear explosion, or he had an issue with the him being gay and having kids, and listen, guys, like, you guys stop. Anytime, if you immediately complain, if your complaint is why he got to be a gay superhero, you got problems. Look at that. Look at Chad working behind the scenes. But yeah, you got to stop. It looks terrible on you to complain about him being gay. It looks as bad as if somebody complained about him being black.
If there's something if there's a legitimate complaint about anything, it's that I don't like that. What tends to happen with characters of color in that kind of regard is that they play we'll get a 2-for-1 deal on minorities.
Switch it back, Chad.
And oppressed groups.
Yes.
So it's like, oh, well, why don't we've got a black woman, let's make her gay, and we've got a woman, and we've got a gay person, and three. We've knocked out three oppressed people at one time. And it's like,
Yeah.
That's kind of, I get it. It's, it's probably easy for them, but nah.
No, I understand what you're saying, but that it didn't even bother me. Even him being
like
part of
in the sense of like for the characterization, it doesn't matter, especially for those particular characters in the movie. But it's just one of those. It's more of I see what I see what's being done more
well,
so.
there's a certain level of we're going to embody everything. It like every time there's a minority or a racial minority or a anybody from the LGBTQ community, there's a certain level of this person is supposed to represent everybody, and it's not even all on the writers or on the director. A lot of times it's on the people who are watching the movie. They kind of go, okay, well, he's the black one, so he represents all of us. And I would love for us to get away from that. But
can we? Let's talk about that thing itself in terms of the diversity of the cast and the positive.
I had no problem with it.
I don't think there's a negative in the sense of them being cast, because this is one of the most interesting casts that Marvel's ever had. But my problem with it is that you have these, well-known, respected. They're a lot of them, other than people like Angelina Jolie and Selma Hayek, the vast majority of them are what I call that guy people. You know them from something that you enjoy, but maybe you don't know their names. And you have this cast of people, a lot of them do good characters, but the failure is you really gave them nothing to work with in terms of that. That's what bothered me. And that's probably my biggest complaint about the whole movie.
Well, I would say that they should have made it Eternals would have worked so much better as like one of the Disney Plus miniseries.
You are
if
correct.
You had like 6 to 8 episodes where you can just dig in and you can show like the real impact across the breadth of history of these individuals.
And that would have earned so much.
It would have been better. It would have been. I would have enjoyed it a lot more.
It would have earned all those story beats, and this is a problem.
There's too many of them. There was too many of them. Number one,
too many, and especially for what you're trying to pull off. And then I'm supposed to care about these characters, and we're supposed to sink into the idea that they have lived here since nearly the dawn of mankind being here, and that's supposed to make it where they're significant. But we're only sitting there for 2 hours. If they had done what you had suggested, or the other thing would have been some of these characters should have shown up in previous movies before. That probably would have been a good option, because then you would have had some way to connect with the characters, and they could have interacted with other people. You can't now, obviously now. Obviously,
what I'm saying is you couldn't do that before, because then you run into the same thing that people complain about all the time, which annoys me to no end. Why didn't they help with Thanos?
So, well, in the sense of their story being what it was, I guess so. But
you can't have them pop up. Like, you can't have them pop up in any other movie, because then they're like, well, if you helped out there, why didn't you help out there?
But it really hurt in terms the two most compelling characters. And I met you mentioned his name, and the black one. He was I really thought his character and his development was very interesting, and he took that little bit and got a lot out of it. And Gilgamesh, that would be the guy, the actor who is from the movie Train to Busan.
Yeah,
and that dude comes on screen when he in the sequence when they're in Australia, and within about a 5-minute span, he's way more compelling than characters who've been on screen since almost the beginning of the story. And what happens to him?
They all did. Honestly, I thought they all did well. You know what? I think what they should have done. There's two things I would have liked for Marvel to have done, and I know this is veering into I would have done or rewriting the book, but there's two things. One, Dane Whitman should have been there throughout the entire movie. there's no point in him being in the movie, especially when they're trying to establish him as becoming a superhero in his own right. For those that don't know, spoiler alert, for the last 50 years, Dane Whitman is the Black Knight. I would have had him be there with them traveling like the other dude was, the cameraman, whatever.
Yeah,
I would have been there because then you can continue that dynamic of the love triangle between the three of them, which would have added more meat to the story.
Oh, that would have given so much more to both of those characters, because as much as I love, and please, I'm gonna mess her name up, Gemma Chan. Gemma, probably Gemma, British name. I love her. I like, the first thing I ever saw her in was a really little known sci-fi show called Humans, and have loved her ever since. And I really was hoping to like her character more, but I feel like the only thing you did was she's pretty and she likes humanity.
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah. And you got Rob Stark in there, and
Rob Stark and you got
the two, Jon Snow and Rob Stark, are just kind of chilling here. And like you said, those two characters are supposed to be, they're supposed to be a love triangle dynamic there.
Yeah, but they missed out on it. Like him, number one, and then not only that, then you're giving people a reason to get excited about him possibly becoming a hero by showing him doing heroic things.
Yes.
Like they missed out on that. So that at the end of the movie, when he has the sword,
that makes more sense.
Right. And you're like, oh man, like they could have had a sequence in the movie where he's swinging a sword. Like they showed the sword in the ship. That would have been perfect. Show like a reason for us to get excited about him possibly becoming his own superhero instead of a glorified cameo.
That is exactly, well, that's what a lot of it felt like for me.
Yeah, it was. And
Selma Hayek's character was it's like, hi, I'm here. Hi, I'm not. And then we get the back characterization with the flashback.
And this is the second thing I wish Marvel had done, because then it would have really pushed the narrative that this is an entirely different thing than what they usually do, is not refer to them as superheroes.
Okay.
This should have been, this is, instead of it being like these are superheroes, this is a race of people who not necessarily, like I would have, but just from a marketing point of view, I understand why they push them as superheroes because it's Marvel and it's their bread and butter. But I think this was an opportunity for them to even stretch even further, because then you're changing the expectation of what people are, changing the expectations. Like, okay, well, these aren't superheroes. These are, because I actually read an article today. I think it was on Bleeding Cool. I might be wrong, but they were talking about how like they were basically like dysfunctional angels.
I like that term.
Yeah, I think I might be wrong with what I'm saying. I should just pull it up.
That would have been so. Again, they're doing, and I gotta compare it because it's one of the only other ones that they've really done like this, where you're introducing another group of superpowered beings or beings of note. And where something like Guardians of the Galaxy was able to rely on comedy and a smaller group to allow you to connect with them over the course of the movie, this has a bigger cast, and they're supposed to have a more significant. They're supposed to have spent a more significant amount of time in existence, and they don't have comedy to rely on, and you don't have the time you probably need, because this is a origin story. We all know origin stories, and if they can be a bear, especially to the uninitiated. These are characters people are mostly not. This was what Kirby's wackadoo characters.
Yeah, there was very little like Kirby influence in the film, but I kind of think everybody knew that going in.
Yeah.
I think Marvel. The
I'm
only
thinking
movie
about
I've
an
ever
origin.
seen, the only Marvel movie I've ever seen with a heavy Kirby influence was Ragnarok. That's it.
Fair.
Like, I don't think any of the other ones have ever
Well,
really pushed that Kirby-ness. And this one could have. But I mean, once again,
I'm
me
surprised
enjoying
they
like
didn't go that way
I'm being
because of the
critical of a
cosmic
movie I
element.
enjoyed watching. Like, let me make sure people understand. I'm being critical of a movie that I enjoyed watching.
So okay, then now I'm going to ask you, what were the things that worked for you?
I like the dynamics, the interplay between all the characters. I did enjoy that. I enjoyed the overall twist about this. I almost called them Sentinels. The Celestials.
Oh, the Celestial.
Yeah, the third act I really enjoyed.
Yes, but okay, I'll give you that.
What else did I enjoy? I enjoyed all the characters. I truly did enjoy all the characters. I just think it was a bit like herky jerky with the flashbacks going back and forth. I just didn't flow. The movie didn't flow well, and I don't know if it's editing or what, but it didn't flow well.
Maybe? Well, again, you're spinning a lot of plates up there. And then I think,
like I said, they needed more time. Like
especially,
it's weird because it's almost like two conflicting narratives that they have. They have the narrative that they love humans, but they
yes.
don't want to help humans. But like what I would have really preferred them do is instead of going, well, the Celestials told us not to do anything, considering the fact that once again, spoiler, close your ears, whatever, they're pretty much robots. It would have been more interesting if they were programmed not to do it, if they realized that they were programmed not to be able to have a massive influence on humankind. Like that would have made it would have made them rebelling against the Celestials more meaningful, as opposed to, well, they just decided to quit and they all just chilling.
I think because you don't have time to develop what's supposed to
Right.
be such an in-depth story, and your runtime is really hurting you on that. That the big deal is they don't earn the emotional beats that they're trying to get, and they don't earn the stuff that could have been interesting. One thing I thought would have been really interesting if they could have delved more into the evolution of the deviants and them wanting vengeance. When they present that idea, they put it there, it looks like something that's going to be interesting. To be honest, they were virtually unnecessary except for
that's not what the deviants are like, though. In the books, they're not like that. In the comics, they're not like that at all.
Not at all.
They're just kind of like mutated people. They just look weird.
That's
what I'm saying. Like if they had done they could have done a 6 to 8 episode Game of Thrones style movie that showed the rivalry over the years and just did a straight, don't do the jumping back and forth narrative. If they had just done a straight, when they get there to the rising of the Celestial, and really done dealt with the interplay between them and the deviants and everything like that. The Eternals as a concept needs more room to breathe than 2 hours. And I think it was less. It might, but it needed more.
Actually, more than 2 hours. This one was long. It was more.
It needed more time. When you have 10, it was 10 of them. If you have 10 of them, plus the deviants, plus the Celestials, plus Dane Whitman, there's way too many plates being spun. Like you just said, to use your analogy, way too many plates being spun for them to really. You just didn't have enough. There was too much meat, and they didn't. It was it was too much meat on the bone, and they only took niblets. They're just niblets.
When the deviant, I guess the deviant prime guy shows up in the third act, I really did roll my eyes because, like, we don't need you here anymore.
Yeah, like he was totally
you're. In fact,
if they pulled him out of the movie and just had the deviants just attacking them randomly, you would never need to change anything.
Or just the fact that he used the deviants to kill Ajax, and that becomes your that you don't like. That's all that's their whole purpose in this case is they killed Ajax. He used that as his cover up, and you keep going. Nothing would have changed, and you could have kept that focus. The only thing that was kind of cool about him was when you have the fight with Angelina Jolie's character, and it only serves the purpose to develop her character and her relationship with Gilgamesh. That's it.
Fun fact about his character, the character he's supposed to be. In the comic books, his character and Athena have kids.
I'm sure you could. I think isn't Ajax originally a man?
Yeah, they did a lot of
flipping, switching around, and everything else.
But just the character. But I mean, but the but that's why it would have been such a great. And I'm lamenting it because I once again I love the idea. I enjoyed watching the movie, but it's like in my mind I'm like, man, you needed more time. But anyway, we're gonna move forward because this is only an hour show, and I don't want to shortchange the conversation about the black athlete conversation.
What's that one? That's a heavy topic.
It. And there are certain people I want on the show to talk about that.
Well, maybe we hold off on it because that story is not going anywhere. And
we could talk about that any day. We're gonna do something fun, and this is a nod to my boys from my other podcast, Top 5 Live. What we're gonna do, and this is a top 5 that I think I suggested to them. I suggested to them, and they didn't want to do it. I forget the reasoning why, but Jamari and I are going to try and figure out top 5 black movies all time.
Wow, this is when it's ambition. This is ambition you're putting up on here.
So I'm gonna throw one out there that deserves to be on there.
Okay,
Friday.
You want to put Friday on here?
Friday, top 5 black movies.
And see, my crazy behind is going to think about something like Carmen Jones or A Raisin in the Sun. Yeah, you don't know Carmen Jones?
No.
Yeah, Carmen Jones is.
Wait, is that does that have what's her name in it?
Who is it? I mean, I'm completely.
See, I feel like the
Harry Belafonte is in it. See, I'm about to mess. I don't want to mess anybody up. Harry Belafonte, Dorothy Dandridge is the character Carmen Jones. She and this is going. All right, let's.
I
told this is why I asked you.
No. Let's not do all time.
Yeah.
Let's do last 30 years.
Yeah, last 30 years. Cut off
1990. It was about 1990. Let's say 1990.
See that when you that's why I got to clarify these things, sir.
So I'm gonna say Friday belongs in there. I'm gonna say, jeez, Soul Food.
When did Boys in the
Boys in the Hood? Yes.
When did Boys in the Hood come out?
That's definitely the 90s.
It is 1991 specifically.
Yeah. So we could do. So
if that's the case, I would say
Chad is on it tonight, man. Chad is on it. Chad, document what we're putting. So we got Friday, we got Boys in the Hood.
I'm just throwing things out right now.
I know, but I'm just
throwing out what I consider worthy candidates. I'm going to also consider The Best Man.
Wow. Best Man. Okay.
Now,
wait, is somebody typing these down?
I'm writing them.
Chad, are you typing them down? Just let me know in a private chat, yes or no. Okay, cool. He's writing them down. Friday. Malcolm X.
Malcolm X absolutely deserves to be there.
Malcolm X
be in the mix. Well, heck, you could go through a lot of Spike stuff all day and night.
But see,
even his
I
even
wouldn't.
like
But
his
would you
rough
call?
stuff.
But I wouldn't call like school days.
School Days.
House party.
See, you got stuff like that. What about
House
42?
Party? House Party is a seminal black film, dude.
Okay,
Seminal.
but again, but what about stuff like 42 or
40? But do you see? 42 to me isn't really a. I don't consider it a black movie
for real? For real?
Hold on, just let me finish.
Okay.
I don't consider it a black movie in the sense like it's like majority black cast, like 42 as in the
Jackie
Chadwick
Robinson, Chadwick Boseman, yes.
Yeah.
Or Jungle Fever.
Do
the Right Thing.
I don't know if wait, what was the last one you just said?
Do the Right Thing.
Do the Right Thing. Do the Right Thing.
All of these movies.
That's a contender. That's a contender.
Django.
Hold on a second. Django. I don't think a Django is like a black film. To me, it just doesn't mean you have a black starring, like the star is black. That doesn't make it a black film to me.
But three of your most significant characters and the ones that everything pretty much hinges on are black. And it's about
Django?
their experience. Yes, sir.
Jamie and
Foxx. You've got
Jamie
I'm gonna call her by her character, Olivia Pope,
Kerry Washington,
and you got Uncle Ruckus, and they are the characters
like that doesn't
hinges around.
It doesn't really like. I just don't,
and I can understand your hesitation simply because that movie.
Yes, Chad, come on, line man.
But
Chad,
so
come on,
that doesn't have. You can't say that movie doesn't have any connection to the black community. The problem I would have ultimately with that one is that it's the person who directed it. That would be my problem.
But once again, he's not really speaking for the black community. I wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like when I think of a black film.
What about The Color Purple? And I know that fits out of it, but The Color
Purple to me is more of a black film than Django.
But it was directed by Steven Spielberg.
I know that, but that to me is more of a black film than Django. No. Color Purple is like revered by black folks. Like I don't think people look at Django the same. I don't think black people look at Django the way that we look at Color Purple.
You're right because they're totally different movies.
What'd you say? But what I'm saying is that like there are black films that are directed by white people, but they are revered by black people for the impact that they have towards black culture. The impact that Color Purple should be on this list. The impact that Color Purple had on black culture is significantly higher than the impact that Django had. You get what I'm saying?
I do. All I know is there was a lot of people in movie theaters, and I watched that movie 4 times in the theater. There's a lot.
I like Django, but I'm not saying this. Once again, we're not saying any of these are bad movies. I'm saying, what is it when it's viewed at? Like if you ask like a black person, do you consider Django to be a black film?
That you know what? You know what? This would be a good idea for a poll, by the way, if you'd like to play with that.
I might have to put this up as a poll.
I'm
gonna do it.
I was gonna say,
go ahead, Jack.
I was gonna say that's the reason that I put what I put. What about what the movie means or represents for the black community?
Okay.
It's funny that I just watched Django. What was it, last night or 2 nights ago? Last night, just because I was like, one of my brothers didn't see it. Actually, 2 of them didn't see it. And I was like, wait, you haven't seen Django? Like you got to watch this. It's almost like Black Panther and what it represented, like a black man.
How you not gonna put Black Panther?
Slave. I was gonna put it.
You know, Black Panther was coming. Come on, forgot. Let's not be
Django,
crazy.
A black slave, being what he was at that
right,
point in time.
But once again, it's not that it's not a good film. It's not that it's not a good
When
film.
you go see a movie about a former black slave?
All right. We got to start. We got 5 minutes left. We got to start putting together a list.
And that's why this
what are
is
we
kind of
missing
crazy, because like there's stuff we got on here, like what's love got to do with it? Waiting to Exhale. Of course, Black Panther needs to be on this list.
Another film with a slave mentality undertone. Truth.
And there you go. There you go. Though that becomes something real. And
so
a lot of,
I'm stooping for Friday. Friday to me is every black person has seen Friday. Every black person. And if they haven't seen Friday, it's because they're under the age of 15.
I'll say this. Yeah, like I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of under 25s ain't seen Friday.
Friday come on every day.
A lot of under 25.
Friday comes on every week.
I know for
a fact. Friday comes on every week, though.
I'll give you another one. What about Hoodlum?
Nah.
No?
You know what? Belly.
And that's a terrible movie, but go ahead.
You said it's a terrible movie?
It's a terrible movie, but
look, black people love it, man.
You're right, and that's my whole point. I'm bringing it. I'm not throwing it out. The whole reason I'm not is because of
this list is hard.
I told you, and you try to do it in 15 minutes.
I'm gonna say, I don't know if you can do 5. You might have to do like 10.
This not. You can't listen, man. Can't do that. I'm gonna say Friday.
I would like to say why
I'm gonna say Friday deserves to be on the list.
I'm about to throw a monkey wrench in your.
I'm gonna say Malcolm X needs to be on the list.
And Loyal Citizens of Zamunda.
Coming to America needs to be on the list.
Yes,
that's 3 right there.
I'm telling you, like there's stuff.
Waiting to Exhale is a good one, Chad. But you know what the problem with Waiting to Exhale is? I feel like Waiting to Exhale is like in a bubble. Like when it came out, it was a big deal. But like after the fact, and I'm probably gonna sound super misogynistic when I say this.
Yep. Go ahead. Continue.
As time has progressed, I feel like more women have continued to watch it, but I don't think men have.
But it still has a significance in the
community. It does, but I don't think the impact on black men is the same for Waiting to Exhale as it is for black women.
I would argue
those are all
those
are all of you are gonna snag you. Yes, absolutely. Drew is absolutely correct. If you haven't seen Friday, Coming to America, Malcolm X, who else? What else? What do we have?
Man,
Color Purple.
Seen Malcolm X, and they definitely ain't seen Color Purple.
But once again, you talking about people modern the age of 15.
A modern movie that fits in that same mix, Selma.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I have not seen.
You ain't seen Selma, but you need to.
It's on my DVR. I can show you. It's on my DVR.
That is.
I promise you, it's on my DVR. I just haven't had a chance to sit and watch it.
Rosewood.
You know what? That's not true. I've seen pieces of it.
Was it Rosewood? What that?
But I know a lot of people that haven't seen Rosewood.
But it's significant.
But I'm trying to think of like what movies that you need once again to keep your black card that you eventually will see. And I think The Color Purple is one. I think Friday is one. Because everybody people still quote Friday. People still quote Color Purple.
True.
Yeah.
People still quote Coming to America.
Lord have mercy.
Very true.
And now I will say it's because of the new movie.
And it's rolling around in the memes
even
and
before
all
the
that.
new movie, man. People.
I'm thinking about people who are not of our age.
So I'm gonna put Black Panther in there because of the impact of like it was like a kick in the door. So that's 4. What's the 5th?
Hold on, let me look at what we've got on that list.
Honestly, The Best Man is a good one, but I'm not sure if the impact.
But that is one of those movies that, as you said, they continue to get played, and then there's going to be the people. There's going to be a cross section of people. They're going to want to see a Medea movie.
I'm willing to put one on.
Well, okay, out of curiosity, which one would you pick?
Jesus Christ. Well, go ahead, Chad.
Ooh, we're forgetting something.
Oh,
We are forgetting something.
I knew this was going to. I told you this was too soon.
Go ahead.
I can't believe it. Love and basketball.
Nah, man. But
Love and basketball.
Like 3 movies.
Well, you know what though? I would put Love Jones before I put Love and Basketball.
I'll be honest with you. I think Love and Basketball has a bigger impact than Love Jones.
Love and basketball, man.
Yes, because like you said, that movie gets quoted. That movie gets constantly viewed more than Love Jones, even though Love Jones came first. And
did we put Malcolm X on the list?
Malcolm X absolutely needs to be on.
All right, wait, hold on.
Not on this last one that you did with this.
That's what I'm saying. When I did the 4 that I did, so Malcolm X has got to be on that list. So that's 5.
I would bump for that one automatically because
which one are you bumping?
That's the great rivalry.
Hold on. What did we say? What did I say? I said The Color Purple, Friday,
Black Panther,
Friday, Black Panther, Malcolm X.
Oh, maybe you did say it.
No, just now
you
I'm
did.
saying.
Oh, just now. So then that's 4.
That's 4. So what do you want to put? Are we putting Do the Right Thing? Are we putting School Days, House Party? Are we putting
I would
Belly? Coming to America. That's 5.
Coming to
Coming to America.
Now, can you push one of those off?
But you know what? If you repurpose this as, top 5 black card movies, then it makes sense. It makes a lot.
I think it works either way, though. Like if it's a movie that you're gonna lose your black card if you haven't seen, then that means that it's pretty darn important. Now, I'm not gonna make us put it in any particular order, but all right. Well, that is it. It is 9:00 on 9:02. So this was the first episode of the Stoked Podcast. I thank anybody and everybody who decided to stop by to watch. Next week, Jamal Iggle, 8:00. It will be great. I am super stoked for this. I'm looking forward to this, and he's one of my favorite artists. I've literally followed his career from like Green Lantern to Black to was The Wrong Earth. So listen, please join us again, and please comment on the side while we talk. I love the comments. We will reference them, and we will clown you, and we have no problem with being clowned. All right. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Chad, you can close us out. Thank you. Come back next week.